some of the things that Lockheed Martin has been building. So for those who don't know what Skunk Works is, that's their their advanced development programs for like aeronautics, and it started in like 1943. So you can imagine how many crazy scientists in America working alongside Operation Paperclip scientists building insane things underground. You know, Skunk Works, I believe they've got stuff in Area 51, which might, you know, be some of the things we've seen out there. So Skunk Works, when is this from? 2021. Skunk Works, and this is just what they want you to see. Skunk Works, really, it's not even about us. They want the Soviets to see it, if they're not already spying on them, which they are. Skunk Works reveals its secret speed racer aircraft. Now, that thing is crazy looking. That's like a rocket with wings. It's like a needle. That's insane looking. All right, let's go down here and see what they call this stuff. Lockheed Martin has revealed its new speed racer uncrewed aerial vehicle.
So it's a giant drone with a needle on the front.
Man, the aircraft is the first to use Star Drive, a new set of digital engineering tools. Skunk Works, Lockheed's famous Advanced Projects Design Bureau that built the SR-71 Blackbird, developed Speed Racer. Oh, is there a video? A new video from Lockheed Martin includes an exciting Easter egg, the first real glimpse of a recently teased secret aircraft.
Yeah,
let's
like
watch
have
this
one. Let's
video.
see what happens here.
This is what you just saw in the sky. Like, that's a UFO.
Does anyone else feel like we're at the movies?
Yeah, right? That's the intent. This is making me want to invest in the military-industrial complex. Because this is just, we're just showing the people a commercial. This is just a highly produced robot commercial for Skunk Works.
This is a preview. The mixtape's dropping this summer.
Like, how is that real? That's crazy. That is crazy.
It thing literally looks like it's coming to vaccinate you.
If they could. That's why they called it Warp Speed.
Oh my god.
Chemtrail.
Yep,
Great.
two of
There
them.
you go. My goodness. I didn't know it was going to be like a commercial like that.
This film is not yet rated.
So wild. Is there others in this one, or was that the other thing I sent?
There's a bunch of stuff. So we got... This one looks fun.
Yeah.
The super secret weapons facility. Super secret. It's so super secret that we took a picture of it and we have to tell you that it's super secret so that you don't think it's not.
Well, they can't show you the underground base, you know. They probably got a whole network, miles and miles of an underground base and city.
The Pepe Le Pew mascot is awesome. I'm trying to understand the symbolism behind the skunk for these guys, but...
Yeah, I don't know where the Skunk Works name came from. We should look that up. But this is fascinating. What is the headline here?
This is Inside Skunk Works, Lockheed's super secret weapons facility. The world's largest defense contractor opens the gate to its aircraft factory in the desert.
So this is just the UFO factory. 62 miles north of Los Angeles. This desert town, known as America's Aerospace Valley, is home to one of the most secretive aircraft design production programs on the planet, and we're going to dox it in this article. Few are allowed in, but the sky is littered with clues of the work being done behind the high fences topped with barbed wire. It's routine to spot a U-2 spy plane or a Janet 737, a highly classified fleet of aircraft used to shuttle military and contractors between Palmdale and places such as, you guessed it, Area 51, the storied Nevada base. Back on the ground at the corner of Sierra Highway and Avenue N, they literally are like, this is so secret, we're giving you the location. Mm-hmm. Drop the pin. Sits an empty lot with a flagpole in the center. Jet spotters and spies from all over the world gather here to catch a glimpse. Why are we letting spies from all over the world in? That seems counterintuitive. Clicking away as the newest, most top secret aircraft soar above Skunk Works, Lockheed Martin's research and development facility. It's their only chance to see them. There's no view of the runway or the plane sitting on the tarmac. For just a few hours last month, Lockheed invited a select group of reporters to tour the massive facility, lifting the veil behind its magic workshop for the first time in 8 years. Skunk Works produced the U-2 spy plane that could and still does collect images from 70,000 feet, the SR-7 Blackbird. So it's going to list a few things. And that just reminds me, this is new. Nothing new, guys. I mean, you know this listening. You know what else Lockheed does. They make the spy satellites. Yeah, we've talked about the show quite a bit. Some of my favorite being the spy satellite that has the devil painted onto it that says, "Better the devil you know," or the spy satellite that has the octopus on it that says, "Nothing is beyond our reach." It's very comforting to know that Lockheed has that in their possession. That's just two. You can go look up how many they have that they're willing to tell us. What I find interesting about this article is, how does this happen? The Skunk Works, well, I guess they kind of tell us. Skunk Works is like, hey, we need some PR so we can tell the world what we've been up to. So they reach out to their favorite journalists, invite them out for a show. It's hilarious to me because it doesn't sound like they've been bothered. I'm sure they have been bothered by journalists being like, hey, we want to know. But it's like, all of a sudden, we need to get some of the stuff out there. Just the stuff, that we're allowed, that we want them to know about. It's not just to scare people. There's so many different angles, I think, of why they do this. Perhaps even to recruit,
I was going to say it definitely will generate a buzz on the other half of that.
Right. Oh, for sure. For sure. All the other countries doing the same thing. Now they want to build it. They want to copy what they're seeing. Like, why invite the spies from all around the world? What is that about?
I mean, usually that means that you want to work with them, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we do have lots of, to be fair, we do have the Five Eyes spy program with lots of different countries. So there is that, and we could invite spies that we're friendly with, which is a weird thing to think about.
I mean, if they're trying to fund the tech that's going to defend them from, otherworldly visitors and things like that, weapons, things that we don't understand or are not of this world, then, who better to sell to than all of, the conspirators on the other side with all the money?
Yeah, for sure. And then, I like to imagine that they all just take a long elevator ride to the bottom where J-Rod is. Remember, was it J-Rod we talked about? The alien who's been here helping us reverse engineer his crash technology.
I'd like to see his tax forms. I think we should release J-Rod's tax forms.
Yeah. Where's because he's technically an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, but he was also employed.
True.
Did he not have a W-2? I mean, this guy was a federal employee. Was he
not in California? Where all the rioting for illegal immigrants is happening?
I'm saying.
Interesting. Coincidence?
Produce some documentation, damn it.
What's his social security number? Who is J-Rod? Does he have a family? He's probably been cloned, just like you're right, Henrietta Lacks.
You think he has a work email? He's got to have a work email, right?
At Skunk Works, J-Rod at Skunk Works. Someone hit that email and see what comes back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's going to type in some weird hieroglyphics. Were there any other images of weird stuff in this article?
This is another, that looks like a Blackbird to me right there. This looks like it's more of the aircraft. It's definitely F-117 Nighthawk.
It's crazy how fast those things go.
That's the SR-71 Blackbird. That thing is a beast.
I imagine seeing that thing in the night sky. I mean,
not.
or not. Exactly.
How do you see that?
Or not. Yep. It's beautiful. It's insane. We built that with our taxpayer money, guys, so we should all be proud. It's insane. Imagine it's not even real. They just make it. No.
Yeah. It's AI generation. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Not all Skunk Works creations, this article says, went on to be iconic, of course, and many fizzled out entirely. Such is the reality when you're pushing the bounds of what's possible. Here are a few of the group's most eye-catching productions. So what do we have here? The Have Blue. That is an interesting guy. When is this from? It's a Cold War era.
I was going to say that definitely looks old.
Yep. The next one is the D-21. That thing's crazy looking.
It's kind of ugly.
Yeah, not so great. Aesthetically, not pleasing.
That's unmanned, so...
And it flies at an altitude of 90,000. It goes 2,200 miles per hour. Outfitted with a single camera. After imaging its intended target, the craft was supposed to eject the camera module with a parachute and self-destruct.
Wow.
With the module to be retrieved later. They built 38 of these things in the 60s. Interesting. Interesting. What else we got?
How many did they build?
38.
Man, I wonder if any of them were ever even used.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder what the budget on one of these things is opposed to 30.
Oh, I know. What does that say? But the operational life of the drone was cut short as it was embarrassingly unruly. All 4 of its missions conducted over China failed in varying ways. The program was canceled in 1971. So now China has that tech and improved upon it.
So we gave them 4 of these things.
So you see how like UFOs then go international, at least these kind, and they're just sending it back to us, or weather balloons, because they seem to be doing that as well.
If that's 4 failed, that leaves 34 of these units that are still in working order somewhere.
Yeah, let's get one. Put it in this room. Let's just do a podcast.
We need a line into the Air Force.
Yeah. If anyone out there is working at Skunk Works, how do we get one of those? I'm telling Tim Pool, I need one of those right now. As a stealth reconnaissance, so this is the RQ-170 Sentinel. As a stealth reconnaissance unmanned aerial vehicle, which is currently in service. Most of the details about Skunk Works Sentinel are classified. Moreover, the only public images that exist are either computer renderings, like we were just talking about, or grainy photos. It has a wingspan of about, 65 feet and is roughly 15 feet long. Yeah, that's interesting looking. What is this one down here? That is really... This is the X59 Quest with 2 S's. Not all of Skunk Works projects are military in nature. Since 2016, the engineering division has been designing a quiet supersonic aircraft for NASA. The hope is that by significantly dulling the thunderous sonic boom of faster-than-sound flight, supersonic passenger aircraft can be built and operated that don't assault the ears of people on the ground. When its flight tested this year, the X-59 is expected to cruise at 937 miles per hour.
Cruise.
Wow. Yeah, just cruise.
Just taking a stroll.
What
Almost
else
1,000 miles an hour.
The Sea Shadow. We don't have to read all of these, but that...
What?
What? Okay, now I have to know what the Sea Shadow is. That's very interesting. Perhaps the coolest looking vessel to ever be mothballed.
Of course.
The Sea Shadow was a catamaran-style ship designed to be invisible to sonar and radar. And this is a great thank you article for reminding me about the other thing about these congressional hearings is you never hear... every time it's brought up, what is going on underwater in terms of UAPs, they're like, yeah, we definitely can't talk about that. And I think there's a lot of weird stuff. And this is an example. Although this is on the surface, what are they doing down there now? While it never quite fulfilled the lofty goal, it was supposed to be invisible to sonar and radar, chiefly on account of the wakes it made while sailing, aspects of its stealthy design were adapted to modern submarines and U.S. Navy destroyers. The Sea Shadow was featured in the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies, in which it was used by the villain in an attempt to start World War III. Yeah, that looks about right.
I think that we should move the podcast into one of these things.
I think that would actually be better.
Yeah.
We'll just float it down the river. You know?
I'm going to put that in the suggestion box. I want one.
So, curious what you guys think. I don't want to, bring up all the Lockheed stuff and be like, this is what everything is. Because there's obviously stuff happening out there we don't know. And it's been going on for a very long time. Like I've talked about the things I've seen. Who knows what Brandon saw earlier. Things are going on. But it is curious that a lot of the stuff that people do report, and a lot of the stuff that the hearings talk about is stuff pulled from sightings near military bases, to which I always say, okay, maybe it's some sort of extraterrestrial studying our bases, kind of along the lines of that story we just heard earlier about something turning off nuclear missiles, or it's Lockheed Martin doing joyrides around military bases and just not telling anybody. Like we heard the gentleman who called in last week saying, he had clearance and he should have known certain things, but obviously there's things that just go way above people with clearance, and there's levels to that.